Starting to work our way into their third pick. Still looking for a couple of core heroes as well as another support. And I think the Bat Rider likely been saying they were considering, so they'll have to head a different direction here.
Do apologize to all of those of you on the stream. It seems like the Twitch ingest may have been having some issues. We were encoding frames, nothing was dropping, but the stream did go down. So we've taken the stream down, restarted it, and are trying a new ingest now. Hopefully that will get the stream back online for you all, but it may be a minute or two here before you actually can hear this. To those of you in Dota TV, well, sorry for the distraction, but well, let's continue moving through the draft here. For Rave, they are denied their Earthshaker, one of their... I think it would have been a strong support option this game, something that offers you a bit more in the laning stage than the tree and still gives you that big team fight punch later on.
Yeah.
I like MVP taking this away from Rave.
Yeah, I like their bans. It was a good pick as well as far as one of their supports go, and likely their secondary support going to be some mix of damage up. But Rave, though, go for saying they run a lot at DAC. The Lion comes out for them. And just having that burst damage, you need supports who can actually do damage when you have this Medusa. Like, otherwise you just don't get to that stage where Medusa can 5-man and do her thing. So getting heroes like Lion, Skywrath, always kind of a good option there. So we'll see Rave at least also having a good support duo, so they can lane well against an MVP Phoenix team who's proven they like to go for these more offensive tri-lane type setups.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, let's see what pick number 4 is going to be. I do find it interesting that MVP ban out the Bat Rider here, considering just how poorly it went for Rave in the last game. That surprises me a bit, to be honest. It may be just because Chrissy's hero not picked, so it's possible that he could be the one playing it, but that Bat Rider just did not get the job done last time around. Let's see what MVP go for here. They're needing a support as well as a core. Up against a Medusa, this is where it really gets tricky. Like, there's no easy, counter to this aside from Mana Burn. I mean, maybe they could run a Core Invoker. I don't think we see the Nyx support. They've already got their Initiator and the Axe. So they will just go for the Skywrath, just getting generally good burst damage around the board.
And good against... I think this actually is a deceptively good here against Medusa, because you can amplify the Queen of Pain, Earthshaker's damage using the Ancient Seal, and also just prevent a Stone Gaze. If you gank a Medusa, the Stone Gaze is what causes you problems. Medusa doesn't generally want to build either BKB or Manta style. Manta sometimes comes a bit later on. Similarly, Lincoln's is no longer a popular build. It's much more about like the Skadi rush, and then you go back for your Manta. So it'll be a long while where Medusa won't have a way to get rid of the Ancient Seal, and they can potentially look to gank her quite a bit.
All right, seems we're back now. Good to see that. The Brewmaster coming out for Rave. This is a virtually forgotten hero, GoDz. I'm not sure how much of a brew game it is. You're up against the Skywrath Silence, the long duration Blink Call, a lot of burst damage, a natural Orchid carry in the Quap. He's going to have a bit of a struggle during the laning stage as well. This could be a tough brew game. Maybe he just gets safe lane farm and MVP don't contest him, but they have a lineup that could look to with the Skywrath Earthshaker duo.
Yeah, it looks like the plan will be just to safe lane him to guarantee that decent start, the good timing on your Blink Dagger.
He needs a good start. If Brewmaster doesn't have a good start, this is one of those games where he'll be useless. So let's see if MVP want to try and punish him early, or at least try to.
I like the pick. I think the hero fights well around the Medusa and just gives you some good control for Medusa to play with those. So while not a natural hero to be thinking against like a Quap Orchid and a Skywrath Silence, I think in general the hero builds into a BKB later on.
All right. Well, you mentioned the Lycan last game. We didn't see it from MVP. They opted for their Drow. With the Drow banned, they're going to move into the Lycan pick. Now, Rave don't really have the best lineup to catch a Lycan. They have Lion with the Blink Hex. That's about it. Yep. Good game to be ratting. And Lycan does well against something like Brewmaster split. If that's on cooldown, he can just go ham in the fights.
Yeah, and just can offer some good control. Probably going to see a Necrobull come out. You talk about the mana burn against Medusa, so Lycan one of those natural Necro purchases. So something that can also cause Brewmaster issues. So seems like a decent pick and something Rave. Well, ban out the Anti-Mage, weren't ready for the Lycan. KP was against, I think, 5-Ever where we saw his mid Lycan, and he had a terrible start, but he recovered amazingly well.
It gives them some Roche potential. And another hero that we've not seen much of lately, the Spirit Breaker comes out. The Space Cow, it was something that I believe MVP Phoenix were running a bit of back during DAC. We saw Rave run it here and there as an offlaner, but it was hardly like a go-to hero. The one thing this really gives you a lot of is excellent lockdown versus the Lycan. Now you've got your bash, your charge, as well as the Nether Strike, a lot of ways to just control Lycan in the fights.
Yeah, I think it's a good option as far as Rave are concerned. We're looking for an offlaner that can actually handle this last pick Lycan, which maybe caught him a bit by surprise. There is a lot of ways to cancel, some decent ways to cancel the charge, most notably the Fissure, but still seems like a decent pick overall for Rave.
All right, let's get into it. This is game number 3 of a best-of-5 series, currently tied 1-1. On the Dire side, you've got the heavy favorites, Rave. They came in with about 74%, I believe it was, odds on Dota 2 Lounge. Most people expecting them to come through. Ryo will be your Spirit Breaker. Chrissy handling the Brewmaster. He's actually rushing a bottle here.
Okay.
Is he going mid on the Brew? Jo going to be playing your Medusa with the early Wraith Band. Ninja Boogie the Lion. And Cast will be the Witch Doctor. On MVP, you've got QL on the Lycan. He started with quite a bit of regen, as well as the Quelling Blade Nuts, the Earthshaker. They have March on the Axe. It's Febby playing the Skywrath, and then that's K Phoenix, on the Queen Pain. So the Brew's going mid.
I think expecting the Lycan there. So it looks like it'll be a Lycan versus Brew, which is pretty even matchup.
If that's the Quap, he struggles a lot, but should be okay versus the...
Yes.
This will just be a farm lane for both sides.
Yeah, he'll have no issues there, and it looks like Rave are going to be content with that setup there, expecting the Queen of Pain to be in that side lane again, which will be the case. Queen of Pain and better lane dominator versus the Spirit Breaker. Both teams, though, gearing up for this Bounty Rune fight at top lane. We haven't seen one of these in
this is the rating advantage with that second hill. You don't know how many heroes are waiting, and the Fissure on the wrong side, nuts! He almost got them a first blood, but Chrissy just gets pushed over the wrong way.
They tried to, they wanted to trap one hero on the wrong side and get the rest, but they still secure both Bounty Runes. It's still a win for MVP, but it could have been a little bit better.
Yeah. So as for those Bounty Runes, one going the Queen of Pain's way, one going the Lycan's way. Does have to eat a tango here, but so too does the Brewmaster. And he doesn't have any of his own tangos. Fortunately, Lycan, not really the best harassing hero, and it looks like they're not going to send the Skywrath there at the start, so your Brew should be able to get a fast bottle without any repercussions.
Yeah, again, MVP doing their dual lane, send support up top with March. It's going to be Febby on the Skywrath here, and they really like doing this as far as making sure March doesn't get kind of left alone as like a true solo offlaner.
This time, though, it's not going to be so easy. They are up against a very strong tri-lane here. 3 ranged heroes, very good right-click damage. Even the Lion's decent nowadays with the base damage improvement.
And they haven't blocked that pull camp, so they can pull the weight back, deny a lot of XP using this, and it's hard for MVP to come in and contest when there's a potential kill from this tri-lane. March has a lot of HP regen, but...
really wants to disrupt these pulls. He'll be successful. Nicely done by March. Even going to try to pull the creeps back the other way. Perhaps he'll tango through here. In the meantime, mid, is QO currently getting bullied pretty hard by Chrissy. He's just going to work towards that bottle, most likely. He's chewed through his pulled regen. And obviously, the one lane that may be tough for Rave here is going to be their offlane Spirit Breaker, because he's up against the Queen of Pain with Howl. And that is a lot of early harassment. There's your charge, though. Ballsy move by Ryo.
Just hoping for a bash, but finds the bash on the creep.
Got him.
Like, where was my bash on KP? So, laning stage, I think fairly even. Neither team really strikes me as having a much better laning stage. The one risky lane for MVP is going to be this offlane. If they don't give up kills, if they can have if they can pick their moments well, when to fight and exchange harass, they're going to be okay. But if they make one mistake, they can very quickly be giving up a first blood.
And there's some heroes that can move around early here. The Queen of Pain certainly can. Spirit Breaker actually already on the charge, and he's coming in hot towards mid, I believe. No?
Cancelled, yeah. Actually got Fissure cancelled. Okay.
Okay.
Nice
I don't think they... Maybe they could have dove the Lycan. If they had they had a clap on Chrissy. That could have been a kill. So I think I was a wise Fissure by Nuts.
Yeah, Earthshaker in the right place to just scout it out and deal with it, so...
Now QO has his bottle, so lane will get easier for him, less likely to be in anywhere near a potential Spirit Breaker gank as far as the HP pool goes.
It does feel like Rio's getting enough out of this offlane as well in his Spirit Breaker in terms of XP and farm to at least be somewhat of a threat here in the mid game.
Yeah, he's doing great. You look at March, only level 2 with a dual lane. Of course, their support levels may suffer a bit here running the tri-lane for Rave, but they've been getting the pulls off, so... With this stack now dropped out, maybe something Rave actually farm for themselves later on. Everything going much smoother for Rave than last game. again, for them, it seems like the most important thing versus MVP for Rave is going to be just don't get run over in the lanes. Not to say MVP can't win late, but that's where they're really just looking to dominate most of the time.
Yeah, so I think that they survive the lane stage and off to a much better start here. They have got the Medusa, so they're always looking to at least somewhat stall for the late game, or at least the mid game where Medusa can 5-man with a Skadi. But for the time being, the supports, Ninja Boogie off in the jungle, probably going to look to start doing some stacks fairly soon. They haven't actually done any stacks just yet, but the risk is always, hey, if you send one support off to do stacks, that's when MVP do maybe overrun you in this top lane. They've been kind of more prioritizing keeping both supports near top lane and not stacking, which is probably just more a reaction to what happened in game 2, because they didn't have the supports in their safe lane and they lost the game because of it.
Chrissy is going to make his way towards the top rune. The nasty little Lycan Wolves there to try and deny him. He's going to grab a bounty rune, though. In the meantime, they also get a haste rune bottom on Ryo. Oh, nuts. That's not the right direction, my friend. He's in danger here. Where's the bash? Doesn't get a single one. As they go in mid, they're going to charge on the Q. Oh, and now there's no defensive fissure coming out. The bash will be there. Coming in hot is your cow. Can they run him down? There's the second bash. Needs one more. He gets the double and will bring him down. Ryo with the first blood. What a bash lord. In the meantime, March will fall top lane, but takes a Medusa with him. His cast trades in the end. Around the map, a 2-for-1 and a first blood for Rave.
Yep. So Rave slightly coming out on top there. The Axe gets the kill before he dies, though. So Medusa going down, a painful death to be had there, with Axe getting XP on top of it. Now his Tranquil Boots for the lane as well. And this is where the line being out of lane, MVP get aggressive.
This is well, actually Kyo about to hit level 6. I was going to say might be an opening here for the Brew to find a kill, but they will find Cast top lane with the call. Now the silence coming out from your Skywrath. Jo kind of blocking Cast in. He'll end up dropping here. Only a level 3 Medusa. Not a whole lot he can do against this. They will impale, though, as March retreats. Buys a stick and TP just to be safe. And he'll salve up and survive.
Again, just supports being missing from the top lane, and MVP are always looking to strike and punish it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Kind of been a very clear kind of component of their game plan, is just to punish the weak safe lane as Rave are running. First it was the Ember Spirit, now it's Medusa. They're not running those like troll jug type carries, which are just so dominant in the lane safe, and you can't dual lane versus tri-lane with these heroes because of the kill potential. But running these Medusa Ember Spirit type heroes really creates a weakness in your draft.
Chrissy as well as Kyo both clip level 6 now. Splits online, so too is the shapeshift. No, not a whole lot of kill potential here without a +1 for either hero. Chrissy, if needed, can retreat into a split. Doesn't want to have to waste it, though. His Nuts will throw out a Fissure. Now Ryo can give him a little poke with that lantern. And meanwhile on the river, Cass will get caught out. They use the Shadow Strike, but Ninja Boogie's waiting. No, he's not going to actually go for the Impale. QO gets past him, now runs on the Cast with the Lycan Shapeshift. No rotations coming in just yet. In fact, at the bottom rune, there's other action breaking out. His Cast may be run down here by QO, nibbled. And finally wound up falling. Yeah, the Brew Split was deployed. What is he going to get out of this one? The long-range Boulder Toss will be dodged by a Blink back, and they get nothing with their Brew Split.
Not sure what happened there. Look, maybe he got fissure blocked or something?
He like must have been going on nuts, because there's no way you try to Brew Split just for the quap.
I just looked down and he'd used the split and he wasn't near any kill.
That hurts.
Probably got fissure blocked after like a clap on the nuts and didn't get the ulti damage off. But yeah, that's your first Brew Split, not going to amount to too much. And meanwhile the Lycan Shapeshift gets a kill. Chrissy in trouble at mid. He does not have the ulti, but the TP will scare off MVP.
Now he gets to pop the regen. He's playing a bit fast and loose with that. Want him to get as much value as possible. Oh, the Wolf's going to immediately break that. In the meantime, the cows come in mid. He charges, and they will isolate QO, trying to bring him down here. There's the clap follow-up. One more auto attack gets the kill. But now the trade. Axe rotating in, calling Chrissy. He will stick up. He's got another clap fairly soon. Where's that charge? He charges through. Down onto the low ground. Well played by Ryo, who will now isolate Febby. Look to bring him down. These thunderclaps doing a lot of work. And in fact, Febby's got to be careful. Chrissy may clap him on the way out. No, Battle Hunger coming in. He's out of regen now, though, GoDz, as the charge comes forth. It's a double charge takedown from Ryo, who gets called. There's no mana for a dunk. Blake forward from Quap. She's going to clean him up, even unloading the ultimate, just to make extra sure that there's no shenanigans. While the rest of Rave just kind of chilling off on the top side of the map. MVP bringing the entire team to the fight. Rave, not so much.
Yeah, Rave just need to be picking their moments and trying to fight into the high ground with a charge, and a Brewmaster who doesn't have split doesn't seem like the best moment to do that at. MVP, again, gearing up to take these pre-10-minute fights. The Axe are great here to do so with. They're rotating in March, keeping him in before he even has a Blink Dagger. And I think that's something which is almost throwing off Rave, because most teams would be farming up a Blink, or at least laning the Axe, focusing on the lane dominance, over keeping him into a fight, but...
Oh, Febby. He has a ward here, but I think even with that ward, he's still going to be in danger. Coming in as cast as well, has the cask available. Ryo commits to this one. Call comes out on 2, but does he get any spins here? There's your first, there's your second, and the dunk! Some good RNG there
bashes.
for March.
Oh my,
and
Ryu.
not such good RNG for Ryo. Will now turn around, but Febby's just going to nuke him on the way out. Charging through, all 3, onto Febby, gets chopped as well!
Mid-ulti cast, that
hurts.
Borderline. Well, with the movement speed, they want more. They may catch up to Ninja Boogie here.
He's got Hex and a TP, but there's more heroes waiting for him. Now Blink, a Scream, and dead as well. MVP starting to pull ahead here in game number 3, GoDz. They came in as heavy underdogs based on the betters.
Yeah.
But they're looking good. About a 3.5k gold lead, 3.5k experience lead. As the Lycan ult will be forced out. He's going to charge in. This is a bit risky. There's a Bruce split. He wants to bait it out, but the charge may follow him and end up bringing QO down. Long range boulder toss coming in. He dives way far back. Oh, man. He almost outran that boulder.
Throwing shot puts
They're
here.
still coming in, though. They're committing to this one, charging through Febby. No, Ryo's going to back off. Oh,
That was some Olympic-level boulder tossing.
that really was. That was like a shot put.
Dire's
A
top
discus.
is under attack.
Well, they get the kill, but it may come at the cost of the top tier 1. And now Ryo charges that way to defend it. He's having to do a lot of work for the team, I feel like.
Their charges are always in plain sight too, so MVP have plenty of time to react. He's not trying to do them from fog, from trees. I feel like there's some kind of mishaps in how he's kind of playing the Spirit Breaker, from when and where he's charging. Even his skill build, not going for the max bash. The max charge is not really your common way to build the Spirit Breaker. There's some weird interactions with the charge and the greater bash where you don't actually get the charge bash, I believe, because the greater bash overrides it, so it's not really a good skill to actually max.
Yeah, the big thing you got is just, I guess, the charge speed. The stun duration is nice, but...
Well, I think there's something with the stun duration where it doesn't even work as well because of greater bash.
There's a bug with it, you're saying?
I don't know if it's a bug, but like the bash overrides it, so... I don't know. I from playing the hero, it never feels like you get the 2.5 second stun when it's max. You get like the greater bash stun, basically. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
There's your Echo Slam bottom lane. Nuts gonna come in onto Ryo. They follow up with an enchant totem. He's almost in dunk range. This is a big kill. That's a lot of experience, and he charges just in the nick of time. March was mid dunk.
Ooh. He was below the threshold as well. He was at 230.
That was really weird. He was like behind him and still got bashed. Ryo goes really deep for this, though. He charges all the way up onto the high ground before backing off to use that urn.
Yeah,
That's kind of risky.
Probably wants to heal up, too, so he has mana for charge and Nether Strike.
Ninja Boogie in danger. Has an Impale. Oh, he throws it out. KP could make his move now, but Ryo's TP'd in to protect him. It just feels like everywhere Rave go, they're very much reacting to MVP. MVP are the ones applying pressure. They're the ones making moves, and they're going to look for more moves now. Smoked up as a pack of 3. They got eyeballs on cast. Maybe they go bottom instead. This would be the bigger kill if they can bring down Jo. Has the point booster, has the mana shield on, but it's not going to matter with the call. And now a dunk, easily claimed by March. Just like that, off with the Deuce's head.
And this item that Chrissy's just got, his blink on his brew, is meant to kind of change the tempo a bit here, but Rave have to be in position to protect from those ganks, because they blow up a Deucer from full HP to none in no time at all, even with the point booster. Did survive the Mystic Flare, but got low enough to get into dunk range, and now they're going to try fight with the blink.
Alright, they have their Brewmaster split available. Out comes the Fissure, though, connects onto it, isolates Chrissy, needs to boulder toss March here quickly. He'll get the 1 kill for the Brew split, it looks like. Yeah. But this is going to take a while to bring the X down, and while that's happening, he walks into the pit, he tries to bait them into an awkward position where the Lycan can feast on these squishy supports. He will finally be Cyclone. Febby gets Blink clapped, though. Looks like they'll get a secondary kill for Chrissy here, and the charge is coming. Maybe they can connect on the Wolf as well. Ryo pushing him back, has no mana for the ultimate. The Stone Gaze might connect, though. QO turns to try and avoid the final stun. They don't get it off. In fact, they're going to let QO walk away, turn their attention to KP. A little bit of indecision here, and well, they will get the charge, but the Fissure coming through allows KP to blink to the north. Ends up living. They get nothing. No Quap, no Lycan.
doesn't feel like the best fight for Rave. It was a 2 for 2, but one of those, the axe denied himself to Roshan, so
I didn't even catch that.
they didn't actually get the money for that. The Earthshaker did a really nice TP out inside the Roche pit as well. That brew split got completely negated by 1 TP and 1 suicide to Roche. So
Again, the Earthshaker's coming up big in this series. Nuts had a very nice fissure there. Just Brew blinks in, and then the two heroes couldn't follow him up.
he's had a great game.
And now that they know the Brew splits down, the Stone Gaze even used, this is your time to go. Nuts is revealing this, though. He walks up the high ground. There's a dire observer ward here.
Yeah, they walked a bit close.
It's a little suspicious, but no, Cass is going to walk into it anyway. Maybe he ends up being the perfect bait. Seems the case. They'll get the kill. MVP. They looked shaky in game 1, GoDz, but these past 2 games have been much kinder to them. It's been Rave going for some unusual picks which have backfired.
It's great to see a team able to consistently execute these offensive lanes, like contesting the off lane. MVP game after game send 2 heroes or 3 heroes up there, and it's something where if you're well practiced and execute well, know how to contest the pulls, know when to pick your fights, can go really well. And we're seeing it here game after game where MVP are winning that off lane.
The clash may begin. Roche is only at about half health. Jo moving in. Chrissy doesn't have split for 15. That's a few seconds too long, though. They might just give up this Roche. Is he going to try and sneak his way in? They don't have vision. Fissure comes out. Will prevent Chrissy from doing anything, but they get the ward in the pit. There's no way to cancel it. They might actually steal the Roche. Rave charging forward, looking for openings. Now Jo trapped in the pit, though. Could be trouble. They also lost their Quap. And now the Brew split's ready. They'll lose 1. Just the Dusa, but everybody else on the run from MVP. It's going to be Grand Theft Roche. Nuts ain't getting out of here. He gets bashed up onto a cliff, then pulled back down by the game. Can March save it? Can he be the savior? Where's your blink? Where's your call?
1 second.
Not using it yet. Oh no! He comes in with the call, but he gets insta-bashed, then clap. The Roche not dead yet. They're gonna kill March! He doesn't even get the last hit. Actually got the Roche last hit, but the Aegis snatched by the Dire. It's a team wipe, GoDz. A 4K gold swing, a 5K experience swing at 15 minutes. Oh man, we're back down to dead even.
1 Witch Doctor Death Ward.
MVP. Cast, no question about it.
And QO even was using Medallion, so he was missing a lot of his armor that he needed against that Death Ward to stay alive. That Death Ward kills a Lycan from full HP on Roshan. That was just the most important part about that fight. Everything that happened afterwards was just...
It just stopped the Roche from being killed as well.
Yep.
Like, otherwise Lycan kills the Roche too quickly there. Oh my, what a turn. They are looking for Jo now, but there's no real lockdown for him yet. This forces out the Ninja Boogie TP. And now the supports for Rave have caught up. They have the level 7 on the Lion. Finger of Death is active and ready to be unloaded. This is not going to stop MVP, though. They're looking at the fact that the Brewmaster splits on cooldown, and they want to make something happen on the back of this. There's your call. Mystic Flare to follow it up. A quick and decisive takedown will end JO's life as Febby gets caught out of position, and he's dead. But it's, so far, a Medusa for a Skywrath. MVP gonna be happy with that, and now looking for a bit more. Munching Ninja Boogie, they'll bring him down. Then the call onto Ryo. Rave just got done team-wiping them, but this may go completely the other way. They're gonna lose Ryo. Aegis once, they can kill him a second time here. It looks like Call, ready in 1, completely surrounded. Ain't going anywhere, and Ryo will die twice. It's 4 dead, and Aegis killed off, a tower taken. Almost as big a fight as that Roche pit.
MVP just know, like, when they can fight. They don't actually need these items that they're building to win a fight. Like, the Orchid on the Quap is coming soon. Your Axe has just got his Vip booster. No Blink on your Earthshaker. No Necrobook on Lycan. But they just, without the split, Rave have nothing. They can't protect the Medusa. They don't have that good range defensive support. Casks, it does okay from a Witch Doctor, but if Witch Doctor or Lion's in a position to hit an Impale or throw a Cask, that means that hero is dead instead, because the Queen of Pain blinks on top, throws a Scream, ulti, and they die as a result. So there's no real way from Rave to protect Dusa and keep their supports alive. They're always going to lose one or the other, and often both.
Well, MVP, the team that can just keep on fighting. They have very low cooldowns here across the board, aside from that Queen of Pain ultimate. They now will make their way towards mid. They do have to be a bit nervous, even though Rave are currently trailing by a substantial amount of gold. 8k gold, about 7k experience. Oh, hold that thought. Gonna have a jump on Ninja Boogie in the jungle, and another dunk for March. 10 and 3 on his axe. Man, he's been doing some work this game. Brew will come in now, that fresh, shiny Queen of Pain. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't have the Orchid. That was the Skywrath made silence, but it's not gonna matter, though. Queen of Pain forced back. They get 2 kills here. a 2-for-1, and that's without the Brewmaster split. Now hunting for additional frags. On to KP they go. The charge is there. Now they're going to Brew split and commit for this one. Skywrath bought back just to try and keep KP alive, but he gets bashed. Almost finished off. Blinks to the tree line. Tries for the TP out. One auto attack from that Fire Panda. Not enough. Makes his way out. Then the Spirit Cow, the Space Cows are too deep. Will end up going down. Now the Brewmaster could be next. He's got to blink out. And he barely gets it off. A second where he had to turn around there. Awkward engagement. They do force out a buyback and a 2-for-2.
I think the buyback worth it. It may have actually saved Queen of Pain there, so it was
Skywrath
close,
too.
So.
Man, that was if he gets just one more lucky bash there, could have been the death of her.
So
even just a quicker auto attack.
Right away, they want to smoke Go Thunder Kill, just Earthshaker and Skywrath as a duo, but a Fissure Mystic Flare
This
is
their
up.
last smoke for 3 minutes, and then after that they're waiting a long time.
They have made good use of these smokes for the most part. Jayo's going to TP out bottom, so the only kills to find will be near that mid lane, and
Quap does have the Orchid now. It has not been delivered in that fight, but has it online. This is the other nice thing about her not dying there. Now Rave trying to hold onto the tower. This may be where Chrissy's going to regret the Vlads and wish he'd gone into a BKB.
I was thinking just the exact same thing.
And the call, I guess, as well is the other issue.
I think getting the BKB before the Vlads may have been a better option this game, because the way MVP are playing, where they continuously fight, you need that BKB.
Rave hanging onto their tower for now, continuing to spam the Drunken Haze, but the side swipe is coming. Ryo was waiting for an ambush. March just walked right by him, then he charges in onto mid, onto the Lycanthrope. Now March being forced back a little bit. They get off the Sansa Chrissy, no Brew split, and then a beautiful Fissure comes out on 3, Quap over the top. Can't get the job done though. The Death Ward gonna force him back. It's the Axe who cleans up. Queen of Pain to leap away. A rather schizophrenic engagement. But when the dust settles, the Cow's on the charge, onto QO in the tree line. Can they finish the job? Their Lycan's low. He will end up falling. Ryo maybe the trade gets the bash on KP. Can't finish the job though, who retreats out just barely as the Brewmaster comes in. But the Silent Scots, he might not get off his split. Enchant Totem, where's that chop? They can't get it. Actually, they end up getting the kill in the end. Nice Impale attempt there by Ninja Boogie, but not enough. And now Jayo's on the run. Out of mana, into a Blink Call. There is another dunk available, but losing his mana rapidly. Not even going to need the chop. Ninja Boogie again. With the high ground to low ground. Impale, how the hell did he just get KP? Unbelievable play by Ninja Boogie, but March is back in. He wants more kills. This Axe is 11-4-8. The cast could change the course of the fight. Another 2-hero Impale. There's not going to be follow-up for March. Ninja Boogie pulling out the moves on his Lion to keep this game alive, and GoDz all of a sudden level 11 Lion.
Okay.
This guy was so underleveled after the laning stage. That was a bloody massacre. 4 for 4.
That was just like a support's wet dream right there. That team fight when you're the last two left standing there, like as a Lion Witch Doctor, you know you just got like some kills on some carries and cashing in Ninja Boogie's case. That suddenly skyrocketed his economy up towards that Blink Dagger. The kill on the Queen of Pain especially. KP got kind of greedy there. He blinked in to try and finish off the Medusa and put himself in that position. I think they get the Medusa without him, but he really thought there's no way Ninja Boogie would catch him there. That was just an amazing impale on Ninja Boogie.
I don't even know if he realized exactly where the Queen of Pain was.
I think he had to guess, because
that was kind
Queen
of a
Pain
guess.
was in fog.
There's no vision down here, but well, whether it was lucky or good, they get the kill, and that's all that really matters. The one piece of good news from Rave is they have managed to farm a BKB on the Spirit Breaker, and now there's the only solution for him is just this Axe call, but as for bursting him down, that's going to be a little more tricky. Yeah. He's guaranteed to be able to get off his initiation, which is coming now. Axe blinking in, but he blinks into the charge. How unfortunate. Now they could have just carrying a decent kill streak here. No, I guess it was broken earlier.
It's at least one kill more, I think.
BKB for Ryo. Doesn't have his ultimate. Has the charge cooling down fairly soon, and he's going to use it to go in mid, but he gets silenced and interrupted as the Cyclone is also used on the Skywrath. So they'll get 2 here. It looks like Febby will be the next man down. Blink, clap. Drops the Mystic Flare, but soaked up evenly by Rave, and maybe praying for a Roshan respawn, but it's not even possible just yet.
Yeah, that's when you know there's been lots of fights where it's like you just get a kill and you're like, can we Rosh, guys? What's the time? Like, who's
MVP are going to want to go fight right now because the Brew split was just used, as actually Stonegaze was too.
That's been
it's time to go right back down the other way.
And they've just got the more farm cores. It feels like their cores are getting more done and are not that ulti dependent. Even KP with a Sonic Wave, the Lycan Shapeshifters don't seem as important. These heroes is doing damage outside of these. Axe especially as a hero. This hero has no real downtime. Only when he's dead or when he's low HP does he have to get the hell out of a fight. But Axe, well, he just knows battling, and that's what it seems is the plan for MVP. But Rave get some Ancients here. They can look to slow things down, ideally for them. They are being spotted by a Radiant Observer Ward, though.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Now this is a big stack of Ancients. Looks like they're going to claim it before the fight even breaks out. And Ryo, again, the man that interrupts the initiation, gets the charge off. Chrissy barely able to blink away. Oh, that was close. That would have been a guaranteed kill on your Brewmaster.
That was a really important sequence of events. They secure their own Ancients and deward the high ground and avoid getting killed at all. That was like the ideal sequence of events, although the ward gets replanted. I think even if your opponents know you just replant it, it's still well worth it. That's such a value ward with Roshan coming up soon. I guess the teams don't know quite how soon it is. It's actually a slightly long respawn, but something that MVP will have their eyes on with the Lycan on their side.
Yeah, JR really needed that farm. He's still pretty poor on his Medusa. Sitting at just a point booster Yasha, 1,500 gold. We'll see if he wants to just go into completing the Scotty. You got the early point booster, then backs off for the Yasha. Both very cost-effective items, but in the meantime, the real action breaks out mid. They charge in. Ninja Boogie, the man to start the fight. With a finger, secures the kill. Now the TPs need to be cancelled. There's a death ward waiting for these heroes. And, well, with the Brew Split committed, they want to just take this tower and then get out. There is no axe buyback. So it seems MVP are not going to be able to hold onto this one. They'll just go for some split push. QO, pressuring the bottom lane.
Oh, charge on Febby. He's been spotted out by the Observer Ward.
Oh, Mystic Flare. Fissure waiting for him.
BKB.
Cute combo there from MVP.
Yeah.
Oh no, not again. Ninja Boogie, the man getting things done for his team, now finds KP. Gets off that Hex Impale. They're going to set up a charge, so they actually want to go on this.
Yeah.
This is risky. That's some risky business right there.
Blink range and cooldown is not going to be enough to keep him up. So
now they find QO.
Oh my!
This could be trouble. But the dunk comes in from Nuts, gets it on 3, quappled over the top. They'll bring down Kaz. Stone Gaze comes out from Jo, but they need more help. They have no Brewmaster split. Nuts will go down here, but now Jo's left to his own devices, has no help. He'll fall as well. The reveal of the Shaker Blink just decimating the ranks of Rave, and what do you know, GoDz? Roshan about to respawn.
I mean, not really luck. At this point, it's almost a max duration Rosh, so
just very good timing from MVP.
It's been an MVP kind of game for the most part. Apart from that last Rosh fight, this is potentially a risky fight. Necrobooks are about to expire, so QO's going to have to do this just with the Wolves. They need to bring it down fast, but there is no Brew Split, so probably feeling pretty safe for the next 20 seconds, and it looks like Rave won't be here.
No more shenanigans. We've got our high ground ward this time. You're not going to be saucy and try and sneak a fast one on us. Rave say, or MVP say Rave are not going to be able to ambush them there. The Aegis will be claimed by your Lycan. MVP now making their way towards bottom. And they have a second life, which is always nice, but especially when you're up against all these big, long cooldown ultimates. It just feels like a very potent item this game. That said, though, Lycan not really the best carrier for it.
So we'll see MVP's next move here. They are going to be up against all the ultis. They had smoke. This is the time to go for a smoke gank, which they are, I think, somewhat short on here. Yeah, 7 minutes 50. They... Okay.
Poor Ryo.
No smoke anywhere.
Stops the charge, and he's found himself in a very awkward position now.
Life of the Spirit Breaker.
They are going to get eyes on Chrissy now. Takes an offensive medallion. He's just going to back out.
It's kind of hard. It's not the easiest thing for MVP to go take high ground. They could probably siege the tier 2s, but their ideal scenario is they get a pick off on either Brewmaster or Medusa, and then they look to push and take
or
objectives.
bait out the ults. If they can bait out the ults, then they can do it. But yeah, going high ground into Rave is... that's playing to their strengths.
Very hard to get those pickoffs though without smoke right now. Any movement around the map is going to probably get detected. Rave have good vision around the Radiant neutrals, around the Roche pit, so...
The biggest item for me right now for Rave is that Brewmaster BKB. He needs it desperately. They have so much burst. Queen of Pain now gets the egg, so the ulti going to be even more of a threat, and even through the BKB will pose a problem, but... It feels like they get any stun on the Brew and he dies without splitting. That's just how the cookie crumbles at this point.
So without potential for gank, MVP just take the free tier 2 and then TP back to farm. They'll probably do a similar thing mid lane, take the tier 2 and then push out the side lanes, and maybe when they have like a minute left on Aegis, they'll be ready to try and poke at high ground. It's going to be hard for them to get a tier 3 and Raxes though, unless without taking a fight. Rave are going to force that, and they've got Stone Gaze, Brewmaster split. They've got a lot of ways to take a decent team fight.
They also got the cow, and he's hunting. He finds Febby down in the river. Impale going to miss the fissure. Well placed, but You don't really need to line anything up when you've got a Finger of Death to work with. This does leave Ninja Boogie at the mercy of the Wolf, and he'll pay. As March chases in as well. They're going to look for Ryo here. They have that Queen of Pain ultimate, but he charges towards top. The Wolf can't even keep up with this cow. Man, he's got some legs on him. He's been doing his squats. Well,
it's that zero gravity.
They have the Brewmaster split, GoDz. And the Lycan ult was used here, but there is an Aegis, and with that, it looks like Rave have to forfeit additional map control. Now the tier 2 dropping mid. As you mentioned, I think high ground will be tricky for MVP, but they're going to try for it.
Yeah, they're definitely in the mindset, like, let's just chip away at it. We're not going to commit too heavily because Stonegaze Brewmaster split will punish us, and Rave will...
Oh, the backstab charge! Ryo finds his way in! Now the Death Ward! QO has no way out. He's going to lose his Aegis. He may even die twice to this combo.
Yeah. Where's that ES dunk?
Do they want to commit? They do have their brew split, but they're worried about the counter initiation, and you can see why. They have no vision. There's just so many places where these other heroes could be waiting that could counter any sort of
Once they
jump
use that BKB on Spirit Breaker, they kind of lose that reliable initiation. Jay had already used his Stone Gaze, so I think if they take a fight there, that's a quick way to throw this game.
You know, the offlane Spirit Breaker for Ryo has been so much more impactful than the Bat Rider.
Yeah, he's done ridiculously well in this
He's been doing some work. And I guess it does go to your point of Bat just not really being his comfort hero. Uh-oh, Chrissy on a little bit of a jaunt here, but MVP did not actually see him. He's going to try to backstep. Oh, hello, free tower. Thank you very much.
He just like walked across the map, and
I think with all the fighting and action earlier, to be honest, like nobody was even paying attention to that top lane.
And that's most of his Blink money. Yeah, he's just 70 gold short.
Or
so.
BKB. Yeah.
BKB money. Yeah.
I would hope he has a Blink by now.
It's the
rocking that 30-minute brew Blink.
Yeah, late game Blink.
Got him. Well, it is a lead for MVP, GoDz, but I would not call it a commanding lead. Only 6k gold, 5k experience. The cores of Rave are a little poor, but at the same time, Deuce is farming.
Now, these two Rave heroes, they just smoke directly under this Observer Ward, though, so this is unlikely to do much, and something that MVP could punish because they know it's only 2 heroes you smoked. They can easily set a trap.
And neither hero has buyback
They have the walls on the high ground and Axe ready to blink call from the low ground. This is looking bad for Rave.
Yeah, it is.
But
they don't actually go in, so it works out okay.
Very close to ending up in a bad
tricky
spot.
business there. And neither hero had buyback. That could have been very costly if they went down.
Not sure what they were trying to do. They don't have any wards to put down either, so it looks like just kind of
they just wanted like a freebie pick off, you know, get your Nether Strike, finger somebody and just kill him.
Yep.
Kill him quick.
Push is coming mid. They'll quickly realize what's going on. They will be able to get that backstab though. Charge to lead things off on a Febby. Is he committing to this? It looks like
can he kill Nuts at the start of the fight? This would be huge. BKB comes out. Who's he focusing on, though? Ryo gets a little bit hesitant, doesn't get anything accomplished. The brew split was used. They're fighting March with this, who tanks the finger. Then the Death Ward comes in, but now the Echo from Nuts. Not the best one, a decent one. As March continues to take this punishment and survive, they're just cleaning up the backlines here. QO has lived through this entire Death Ward combo, and now Jayo's the last man standing. Coming back in is March, who gets the kill set up for his team and survives. And now they got nothing, GoDz. They fought outside the Blaze. They blew everything. The Dusa ultimate, the brew split, the Death Ward, the finger, the BKB on the space cow. They got no defense now. This is one lane of racks. It could maybe even be 2, although it looks like they're lacking the Necro Bolt, so maybe just 1 lane.
Yeah, we'll see what the move's going to be. With the ultis on cooldown, I think they may consider at least pressuring another lane here. March is about to return with full HP and everything ready to go. Big thing that Spirit Breaker just couldn't get a clean initiation off. He completely got fogged and couldn't find a Nether Strike on either Skywrath or Earthshaker. He's going to do what he can, look to defend here. The call off the mark, though, and
no burst split, though. This is purely a zoning maneuver, and they've already lost their racks.
Be the end of mid lane and possibly the end of MVP's aggression.
They have a Queen of Pain ult. Rave needs to be back. Oh, there. Well, Cass going to survive, courtesy of his Ghost Scepter, able to run away. They will bring down the Lycan. Bit of an overextension there by him, but it seems like it'll work out okay elsewhere. They're chasing on the Ninja Boogie. Man, he really takes a pounding with that Ghost Scepter. So much nuke damage. And now the Spirit Breaker charging, one by one they go in, and they do match the turn. KP to Stone. Can they bring him down? A pretty value Stone Gaze there. But KP able to retreat. Nuts surviving. That Crimson Guard doing a lot of heavy lifting as the Dusa will get thrown up in the air by the Yule Scepter. Febby now trying to retreat out. KP barely able to survive. Has his ultimate in 5. Blinks in. Now short on mana, though, to finish the job. They got nothing on Axe aside from some auto attacks, which he'll try to use to get this kill. They're diving tier 3 towers. This is a very aggressive maneuver by MVP, and they may pay with Febi's life. He'll go down. That looks like it'll be that. And in the end, Ryo does die back in the well. I guess a final solitary arcane bolt finds him there. Well, when the dust settles, they do get their Rex.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this Lycan buyback, though. That did not get much done.
Everything that happened after the Rax was a bit scrappy and kind of 50-50, but the Rax being claimed is what gives MVP a big edge here in the Game 3 match. And, well, it's a tough position for Rave to be in. They haven't got they've got always the comeback potential of the Medusa, but Medusa not farming amazingly well, is up there close to the Lycan and Queen of Pain, but not even not near that kind of top net worth spot.
They just like ignore the Medusa and kill everyone else.
Yep.
And this is the one downside with the heroes. She just doesn't have much burst damage output, whereas MVP have it in spades.
Insta Roche respawn, more or less. It was like 5 seconds after the minimum, and Kua was there waiting for it.
Ugh.
That's a twist of fortune.
This is a big one. With this Aegis, MVP may well claim 2 lanes of Rax. And it seems for Rave, they're going to really have to be patient and take that big team fight inside their base.
Oh, Kha's going to walk into Nuts here, but without follow-up, it looks like Nuts will back off. Also going to be wary of a Spirit Breaker charge if he's on his...
By the way, look at all these sentries they dropped, and they didn't actually find the ward. That's a value ward right there.
That is causing them issues here. So a little bit longer on the Necrobook. They'll make their way down bottom, probably even start poking high ground before they have the Necrobook once more. But Jeo completes his Manta style on the front line, so he can at least get out of the Skywrath Silence, which really is quite a big deal. The Ancient Seal, the damage amplification makes Jeo a much easier kill, and is something which you really want to get rid of even as a Medusa.
Oh yeah, Manta's a big pickup here, as well as the Queen of Pain Orchid. You've got 2 spells that 2 things that amplify damage, I guess you should say. He will show himself mid, Jeo. Takes that medallion from QL. Just a zoning medallion. As Rave will just hang out in their base.
Yeah, so his buyback being on cooldown is a bit maybe worrisome for MVP, but with an Aegis in hand, there'll be a lot more
Looks like they want this ranged Rex mid. It is kind of the safe Rex to go for here at the same time. I think Rave are very content if they have to give a building up for that to be the choice.
Probably just poke at it a bit. Maybe waiting for the Necrobook, which it looks like they're going to swing back bottom. QO, I think they spotted out the ward being planted too, so should be able to de-ward this. Yeah, they're pinging right on top of it.
Second time around, they get the job done.
So they'll de-ward down bottom, and
it's ward wars all around the map. But now, time for some blood. Rave, actually Jeo going to use his Manta here very early. Just to have some extra deep push. They get the Maledict. Cask is bouncing nicely onto QO. Defensive Fissure. Gonna be enough to turn the fight though as the Axe leaps forward. They bring down that Lion off the bat. Now the Death Ward comes in. But Nuts was waiting for this, and I'll just quickly end the Witch Doctor. Supports are down. Stone Gaze goes off, and they try to hold the line. Onto KP. They'll go very strong. High ground defense here. Now the Lycan. This is round 2 of his lives. Can they bring him down? They're letting the Cyclone go. Now he charges in with the BKB. Charge goes through to the backliners. Want to keep Febi out of the fight. Queen of Pain leaps in to her death.
Wow.
That was a bold blink forward. That's a mega kill streak going to the Brew. And they have a charge in 3. Febi has a Yules, though. He can interrupt this, but if Chrissy gets onto him first, well, not going to matter. The clap comes out, and now Febi's fate is sealed. He'll be clubbed to death. 4 heroes plus an Aegis. And for Rave, it cost them no buybacks, only 2 supports. Yeah. That is an awful take attempt by MVP.
Brew and Medusa just get... and even Spirit Breaker stay alive. They lose their 2 supports. Everyone getting 1k plus gold. Your Brew got like 1800. Jeo got 1200 from kills. But on top of that, he was the one farming out the Creep Wave, the Necrobooks. He suddenly has 3k gold when he just... he purchased his Manta style and didn't have buyback.
He just farmed an Eagle Horn in the last fight. Like, just straight up. Easy.
He did not have buyback at the start of the fight. He was playing things kind of dangerously, but I feel necessarily so because of the fact you're down immediately Rax, your opponents have an Aegis, you have to have as many items as possible. But that was the dream fight for Rave, and after that, this game feels a lot more even than it once was.
Their cores are just so beefy now. You've got the BKB out on the Brew with 2100 health and evasion and 13 armor. He packs a punch. Also, there's the Drunken Haze to factor in this game. There's no MKB yet on the Lycan. Does have a BKB, I suppose. But he's tanky. Of course, Jeo is as well. 2300 health, the Mana Shield, 21 armor. And even the Cow. He's got evasion too. It's one of those games where I think if you're MVP, you're like, man, we need some MKBs here. And we need, or maybe a Hex on the Queen of Pain, but they just can't burst these cores down as easily as they once could. Their lineup does start to fall off as this game goes later, GoDz, and it feels like MVP more and more are going to have to outplay Rave heavily to crack this base open any further.
Medusa now, Demon Edge picked up. Do we dare see the magical Divine Rapier come? May just be a standard MKB.
Well, some people say that every game's a Rapier game for Dusa. For others, it's a little more situational. I don't think they really need one.
Yeah, I don't think they need one, but it's like it's whether you need one or not. Like, is it the best item though? And if you can be kept alive, and with a Manta style, maybe you can. I don't know.
I feel like if they wanted to focus the Dusa, they could burst her.
Yeah.
With everything. It would take everything, though.
They have got BKBs on Quap and Lycan to just go right in, but if you get the Stone Gaze off in, then problems happen.
Jo may be going to wait and see what happens here. Perhaps he tries to wait until the next Roche, saves for buyback, and then if they secure the Aegis, he'll complete a Rapier. If not, maybe he goes MKB. If he wants the MKB, he's pretty much got it, but of course buyback will be of utmost importance as they're already down that first lane of racks.
And now Rave just looking to keep these lanes pushed out, get up some vision for themselves, and the good news is that there's a long time before they have to worry about another Aegis cheese push, because that Roshan was they pushed right after they got the Aegis, thinking they'd won the game. So they didn't try secure a pick off, they didn't try get their next big core item. I feel MVP almost rushed things with that Aegis.
MVP, it feels like they're pressing a little more. They have that sense of urgency after the way the last fight went. They press onwards into the Rave jungle, getting a gem on KP. He wants to do a little bit of map control and dewarding for his team. He'll blink up onto the high ground. And they can try to bottle Rave up to some extent. They're not really a good split pushing lineup. Maybe MVP just go back to like starvation tactics, a little bit of rat dota. But they can't spread out too much or the Spirit Breaker will eat him alive. And speaking of him, GoDz, he's going for the Ags, it looks like. Yep. Picks up the point booster here.
The 20-second cooldown is so nice with this, but it's always one of those hard items to farm because you really need a BKB. It doesn't actually tank you up that much. Like a Halberd gives you so much more survivability compared to it.
Well, he is going to find one up here on the top side of the map. He pops his ultimate, but it's right as March is able to retreat down to the low ground, now getting off the Crimson Guard. I don't really like this fight for Rave. They're committing pretty heavily into this, and the Lycan comes from the rear, jumps onto Cast, will quickly bring him down. Very spread out fight as Ryo gets off a 3-hero charge to try and turn the tides, but they take the fight outside the base, and it's just not the right position for them. Jo now going to be forced back. The rest of the team TP's out. But the big issue here is they've committed everything. They've committed their Brew Split, their Medusa ultimate, the Death Ward is available. That's the one thing they have, but I mean, MVP are going to be gunning for this Witch Doctor now that all the other ults are down.
In fights like that, it's just too easy for them to avoid the Stone Gaze. When they're pushing up towards your high ground or you have them clumped up near a choke point, it's a lot easier to guarantee Stone Gaze hits with a Brew Clap and ulti and the Spirit Breaker charge, but they were fighting in this kind of open area in their jungle where there's lots of just escape paths, force staffs, and no one got Stone Gaze. The Brewmaster split got entirely kited around, so there was no real damage done through the ultis from Rave. So, yeah, as you kind of said, it's just a bad fight from the get-go for Rave.
Bottom tower is under
well, in good news, Roche has not respawned just yet. Rave should have pretty much all their cooldowns ready by the time he does, but MVP, they're looking for a big play here, but I think one of their heroes got spotted by this Observer Ward. I'm not 100% sure, but Jo does seem to be sitting rather far back. No Stone Gaze if they jump on him, and they're going to try to. They're diving towards the Tier 4 towers. Chrissy trying to counter-initiate. They commit everything onto Jo, who just pops the Mantis that looks to turn this, and Chrissy going to work with auto attacks. They'll bring down KP. MVP diving Tier 4 towers against the Dusa lineup and getting punished for it. Oh, man. Nobody could just claim an easy advantage this game. And now the cow comes in hot and heavy onto QO, who gets isolated, impaled, clubbed and bashed and smacked down. He'll end up falling. And what do you know, GoDz? Maybe
who needs
Roche
ultis, man? Who needs ultis? They didn't have a Brew Split. They didn't have a Medusa ulti. They didn't even have the Finger of Death. And they just crush.
That was another questionable engagement. Oh, man. Diving the Tier 4s. I think they just underestimated how tanky this Medusa is. Thought they had a little more burst than they actually did, and
MVP
couldn't pop her.
Forcing it way too hard. They whenever they have a small little advantage or like they have a strategical advantage, be it an Aegis or ultis on cooldown, anything, okay, let's go all in because like they have no Stone Gaze.
It feels like it's almost a curse for them to have that, extra life, because then they just play a little too aggressive. If the Medusa's like over here when they initiate, or even like up there right at the top of the ramp, maybe that works, but you just can't go for that when she's at the tier 4 tower. That's a very risky maneuver.
And it was not like an insta jump. It was a good second and a half, maybe 2 seconds kind of window there.
They do catch out Chrissy here. He's in chomp range, though. Is it time for Rave to throw a fight? They jump onto March, though, and with the Spirit Breaker, they go to work. A nice Witch Doctor ult. Not enough for a kill, though. Well, they get a tower, but now they just want to get out. March on the chase. Jayo gonna manta off the Battle Hunger, turns to fight. Oh, you're not so big anymore, are you, Axe? Jayo will bring him down. As there's a buyback from the Brewmaster, they want to press their advantage now. Maybe even just walk into the Roche pit. Axe also having buyback could prompt MVP to try and take a fight. The cow will go back to base. Chrissy's got a completed Assault Cuirass soon if he wants it. I thought he had more gold than this, but I guess not.
But he bought back in that last fight.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
That's derp. I just said that he bought back too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they're going to take the Roche anyway, it looks like.
Yeah. So, yeah, they'll take the Roche. They'll be Aegis. If they get the Aegis and Cheese just like that with no contest, then absolutely worth the buyback. And it looks like Jayo coming in will be the one probably to claim this Aegis. And Chrissy will get probably most of the money he needs for the AC. And I don't imagine Rave are going to do what MVP's done, which is rush things around the Aegis. They'll finish these items like the AC.
This is so... You keep walking into this pit against Stone Gaze is so friggin' hard.
They actually give Jayo the Cheese.
They give the Brewmaster the Aegis. Oh, he blinks into the tree line, though. Chrissy's going to be out of commission for a very long time. Ryo will BKB. He burst split to try and make his way out of the trees, and he's still stuck in there. Only the Earth Panda can get out. This is awkward for Rave. Jayo's blocked away by a fissure. K Phoenix going to come in onto Jayo. Not sure that's the hero that he wants to be focusing. And now Jayo turns his attention towards QO. Where's the backup for this poor Medusa? Finally, it's coming in. He did use a Stone Gaze. The Echo Slam drive-by from your Shaker hits almost everything, but Jayo just cheeses and keeps on going. Clowniest series of fights you've seen this tournament. But it seems Rave just have the brute force advantage. They still have their Aegis.
That fight was just like a lot of misplays in that fight, but there was a lot of like Lion comes in with a blink impale, completely whiffs at the end as well. Ninja Boogie waited around till it was like BKBs had worn off, and he was also like 200 HP, but complete whiff, didn't get off a finger, so some kind of miscues coming out from both teams. But the Cheese, the Aegis advantage, kind of kicking in, and Rave winning another fight, and now looking like they want to pressure this top lane with 2 heroes dead. Dusa picks up an Eagle Song. Oh, baby.
Yeah, who even needs the Rapier? He's getting so many regular tier 4 items that he might as well have one.
He's solo pushing right now. He's feeling really confident.
It's getting to that point where they need to catch Jayo like entirely on his own to bring him down.
Yeah.
If there's any sort of counter initiation, the Cask has been really big in some of these fights. We've seen the Spirit Breaker 3-4 hero charges like turning out to be a really strong team fighter, and surprisingly so. It's going on Jayo just feels like nigh impossible right now. But you can't ignore Adusa this big. Now you really can't ignore Jayo. Earlier in the game, like around that 25-30 minute mark, it felt like MVP were just bypassing Jayo and killing off all the backliners, and then they'd win the fight 5v2 or even 5v1, but can't really do that anymore, GoDz. He hits too hard.
Backlines are starting to kind of pull some of their weight. I mean, that last fight wasn't Ninja Boogie's best efforts, but when he's getting off these nice 2-3 hero impales, Finger of Death, he's offering a lot in the fight. Similarly for the Witch Doctor, some of these death wards have been on point and really zoned out MVP heroes, set up some nice kills. So
there's a smoke here from the Radiant squad. There's a Dire Observer ward that I don't think it saw them, but they have really good aggressive wards in general, and they make it a little suspicious. Nobody from MVP showing on the map. The pings are coming out. They expect this backstab. This could go very poorly for MVP.
Yeah, especially if Jayo's in the front line. The Wolves scouted out, though, so they know what they're up against. They don't really want to go in on Jayo.
Ryo just charged and then insta-canceled. I don't think MVP saw him, though.
I think that one of the smokes revealed on him, though. Yeah,
But he's got BKB and a teleport. Oh, maybe with the call they can bring him down. He doesn't get off the BKB. Ryo will be focused and brought down.
Doesn't want to use buyback.
When MVP go high ground, I don't know if Rave even need the Spirit Breaker. It's more like if they want to leave their base and fight that they really rely on him.
They'll probably use it if MVP commit, just because it can like set up kills. If you win the fight, you want to have Spirit Breaker alive to chase down extra kills with charge, and it's probably worth it, especially if you get like a core hero like a Lycan or an Axe. But yeah, they'll ideally hold off, and I don't even think MVP can push high ground with Spirit Breaker dead. That's just not a high value kill as far as base defenders
Are they
go.
thinking about a go here on Chrissy? Well, not after that fissure.
Yeah. It's got the Aegis still in hand.
Yeah, it's like it becomes this problem of who do you go on. You can't go on the Brew. Can't really go on the Medusa.
Medusa's butterfly now as
The
well.
support should be far back.
Top tower.
Although, if I say that
is
Ninja
it.
Boogie, he just walks out of the base.
LD top lane though, the Rat Dota has begun.
Well, they have cast waiting here. The Bruce Blitz has come out. He's going to TP himself back towards safety.
That was...
I think he must have seen the Lycan top lane, and he's like, okay, they're not actually pushing. He just walks out of the base fight.
I didn't see that. I was watching top like, man, this Lycan's actually getting some good Rat Dota going, but...
That was awkward.
Well,
They lose 2 over the past minute or so.
that was...
But they
MVP.
aren't actually losing objectives. They did take a lot of tier 3 damage, though.
Yeah, and I think MVP just, that last few minutes, it kind of gives them an idea of what they need to do to still win this game, which is going to be a mix of kind of split push and pickoffs. Do not 5v5 team fight. Avoid the Deucer. It's now going to be avoid the Deucer, not so much as bypassing her team fights, but if she's there, you don't team fight. You go to the other side of the map and split push elsewhere, and you only take kills on squishy heroes you know you can easily kill, like the Lion.
Well,
So,
I'm not sure if Bulldog's in the chat, but if not, he'll probably... You know, this guy's like the sixth sense for when there's a rat game brewing, and he'll make his way in to let us know if he's happy with the level of rat MVP have displayed this far.
it needs to be upped. That's probably what he's saying.
It definitely needs to be up. That was like the first rat play of the entire game.
Yeah.
They are not a rat team. Like, that is very counter to their nature and their general style of draft and play. But they may have to do something a little off the wall here. We saw them try to do it through a draft in game number 1. Didn't really end up working out. Now we'll see if they can get the job done in terms of their play here. QO getting charged top lane, though. Could be in danger. He's got to TP out in like the next 3 seconds or he will get caught. It's a little bit too late. He has his ultimate. Jo coming into position.
Gets the ulti off.
How many bashes will they get? Not even going to bother. Actually, QO wants to go in.
Can't really kill him inside a Nether Strike and ulti.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, they force out the ulti, but 60-second cooldown doesn't
Is he
really matter.
actually chasing? No, he just wants to farm. Kill those catapults. Nom nom nom. All right, well, now your ult's on cooldown. I'm coming at you, bro.
Oh, that was
No,
a
just
great
kidding.
misclick.
Ryo's not coming at you at all.
So they're going to worry about... I think
Awkward movements. Now Rave are smoked and trying to head bottom. It wears off. And
Rave are very paranoid about the split push in general. They realize that's going to be the main plan from MVP, and Ninja Boogie going to look to punish it. Catches KP with a Hex, but there's no Impale.
nice death ward, though, from the tree line going in, but March able to tank through this. It's mainly doing damage to Nuts on the splashes. He'll try for the TP out. The cow comes in. Nope, charging
lane, though.
on the Queen of Pain will bring KP low. Looks like he may finish him off. No, not able to do so. And in the meantime, as you mentioned,
He out-damages the backdoor protection.
The rat tactics are paying off here. They'll Cyclone Jo up into the air. MVP. 2 lanes of Rax now claim. This may be a point in the game where
territory.
Rave have to consider a death ball down mid.
You can't let this split push keep... QO just ballsy play.
Yeah, Spearbreaker dies bottom. Just got chased down. Now Chrissy could be next here. Has the BKB TP out. Call was just used. He gets hexed as well. He is very tanky, but there's going to be a call soon. Now he claps. He whiffs on the clap, getting chased out by Febby. It looks like they get the kill slowly, but surely. They'll bring him down with the chop to end his life. That is a 110-second death timer as the Brew finally dies after his much earlier buyback. It's not really about that, though, GoDz. It is about these racks.
Yeah, good
They've lost
execution.
2 lanes. And the thing for Rave is they really don't push that fast.
Well,
Unless Dusa goes for the rapier.
if Bulldog wasn't pleased before, he can be pleased now after that showing. That was what we needed some more of from MVP here in Game 3. And, well, it's coming down to just constant split push. If ever a Rave leave their base, it seems like Lycan can just do the same thing over and over again. They really need to set up defensive wards to protect their base around just the top jungle cliff, around the Roshan area, because they need to see the Lycan coming. Problem is, the Queen of Pain did a great job of dewarding everything using a gem, even purchases a new gem. I think the old one was lost to Rave, but dewarding the map opens up those opportunities for Lycan to find those kind of those Rat Dota moments.
They're very close now. Rave are sitting on a glyph soon. It's going to be up in about a minute. The next Rosh may respawn now or at most in 3 minutes. You would think that this next stage is going to be the last big chance Rave will have before MVP start threatening that 3rd lane of Rax. They could rely on buybacks here, and looking at both teams, there's a 7 buybacks between the 2 of them. Looks like all cores have their buybacks. MVP hoping for a Rosh to go their way. Rosh is going to respawn very soon,
At
GoDz.
that point, it just feels like Medusa has to go all in for a rapier, or at least all in for like another damage item like a Daedalus. You can't just sit back and try and play around buybacks. If you buy back, chances are during that time you lose that lane of Rax, and even with that Mega Creeps, there is potential for that last Death Ball push down mid lane. He's going to pick up the Crystallis, so he is going to go for kind of all-in damage, but not the Rapier. I still think it's the right move, just buying something, because right now you've got to be able to defend and then go for one GG throw and push.
And even getting the courier to the shop is rather difficult right now, so even if you wanted a straight relic here into the Rapier, it'd be difficult to pick it up. And this does allow him to preserve the buyback at the very least. Could help, potentially. This MVP will make their way towards top. They're scouting the Roche, though, and March is going to see it. He pings it out immediately. They want to see Rave show their little faces top lane, and then MVP may try to sneak into the pit.
Yeah. It's really hard to stop. Lycan with Boots of Travels just bouncing from lane to lane. Moves bottom lane now.
And Rave don't have that mobile hero. I guess Jo has BOTs, but...
Kuro pops his BKB, but it doesn't matter. It's a 5-second one.
They are charging, though. Charge goes onto the Wolf, who runs very far away. Ryo's still chasing for this.
There's no follow-up. That's
oh, maybe finds the axe, though. That would be the bigger kill. And the Nether Strike comes out. Just kidding. He's going to go back. In the meantime, back in the base. Queen of Pain on the Rat. So too is Febby. They're trying to corral him. Finger will end Febby. It looks like Maldic going to tick him down. He'll plop back down to the earth, but they lose their Spirit Breakers, the trade, and now Nuts will confidently surge forward. Oh, the Brew also falling. Both have buyback. Being forced to use these buybacks puts you in a very tricky situation, and they're hanging on to them for a little bit. Now Brew will pop his, the Spirit Breaker, also using his own, but still, KP killing out these buffer buildings. MVP. This is not their normal style, but they're playing it well, GoDz.
They're doing what
they're just hitting that switch.
It's all about the W.
They're closing in on it. Rave do have the potential for that game-changing team fight, but MVP just not giving them any easy openings.
Yeah,
spreading them apart, and it's never fighting 5v5.
It's all up to Rave to make a move and do something. Otherwise, they're just going to get whittled away at lose. I mean, I don't think you can. This is an Aegis and Cheese. They've kind of had to concede at this point, or regardless. So they're going to have to just defend their high ground like no tomorrow. And it's going to be, even when they go for this bottom lane erect, it's still going to be split push. They'll probably have one hero chipping away at the tier 4s, going for your effigies, whatever it may be. As you said, they're more buffer buildings at this point, but it just forces Rave to split up when they want to be fighting a straight up 5v5 fight. Medusa 5k gold though, so Daedalus could be purchased soon. I feel like this is not the time to be saving for buyback necessarily. It's going to be hard to get that crew to the shop. There's a Radiant Ward nearby, but Joe needs to be considering his item pickup as soon as possible.
I almost, even if he had an extra inventory slot, to some extent I wonder if it matters. Like, MVP don't really have to kill Jo. They just have to kill buildings and not all die without buyback.
It's not a farm and item problem. It's a playstyle problem.
Like, I would say you could give Jo the Daedalus and even let him have a 7th item slot, and there's still a very good chance MVP can close this out with split push. But they do have to execute well. We saw them earlier, dive the tier 4s, feed 4 kills away, and it seemed like they might have lost all their momentum there. Wasn't the case, but one more bad move like that could end up costing them heavily. I do want to mention Spirit Breaker bought back as well. It was not just the Brewmaster. They will find QO in the woods, though. Bring him down once. He has the cheese and plenty of bashes to get the job done, but well, space created, guys, because they're getting the bottom lane now. KP going to work on the tower. He'll bring it down. Now the Orchid onto Jo. They are coming in, looking to rejoin the fight with large numbers. Rave sending in 5 heroes. They really need that charge initiation, though, and
surprised by the Lycan
Spirit Breaker did not have it.
Again, I think at that point for MVP, you just say, okay, we lost our Lycan, but we got a tier 3 tower. Like, that's an acceptable trade. Buying back the Lycan seems a bit unnecessary, but
risky.
It's also just hurting. Like, he does ideally, if this game keeps dragging, he's going to want one more item. Like, he's going to want that Deso or Abyssal Blade, something to give him some even more damage for his split push, but still in a fantastic position. He's swinging top. They're just ping-ponging from one side of the map to the other, and again, the lack of vision on Rave really makes it hard to react and counter this split push play. They've been constantly getting dewarded by this K-Phoenix gem that he's purchased, and that's really been the money.
Aha! They're leveling up, GoDz.
Oh boy. What do you drop? Do you get rid of your Orchid, or Orchid's
probably
good damage?
Maybe the gem. Just give the gem to someone else now.
You've already dewarded everything, so you just drop it for a bit. Yeah, he gives it to the axe.
This is scary for Rave. With this Deso, Lycan AC, and Necro 3, these structures will melt.
Even Lycan seems to be going for a Deso. He's picked up a Mithril Hammer. I guess why not at this point?
Double the Deso. Oh yeah.
They're off, I mean, the 2 heroes aren't. It's not like an issue of stacking when the 2 heroes.
Right. They're not going to be. They're likely to be at opposite ends of the base. That's true.
So Rave just going to keep getting bottled up, and every time MVP come, they lose a little bit more. So next time it may be a range racks, the time after that, and they may just all in and throw away their lives for melee racks and then buy back. There's still an issue if you suicide for the racks, even if you have buybacks. That's when Rave 5-man down mid with your buybacks on cooldown and have a 5v5 attempt at the throne. And I think that's a position MVP may be a little concerned about doing. So suiciding for the racks with... If it's one hero suiciding for the racks, okay, but if you're suiciding 3 or 4 heroes, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, the other thing is they probably want to wait until they have all their buybacks.
What's it going to buy? Is it the rapier? It is.
All right. Well, let's see how well it works. I mean, he hasn't exactly been hitting many heroes this game.
A necessary evil, I feel.
Obviously, Jo will beat anybody he fights in any engagement. He will do more damage, but the issue just comes down to Medusa's mobility. It is kind of the Achilles heel of the hero in a lot of ways. And Rave are just on base defense now. He can push out the lanes a bit quicker. That's a nice bonus to having the rapier. And I think seeing this MVP are going to be very content to wait. You know, GoDz, this is a pretty good solution for it, though. Heaven's Halberd. No BKB on the Medusa. You can't Manta out of the Halberd. The evasion won't really help you, but that disarm could be very potent in the upcoming fights.
Having double Heaven's Halberd, too.
And a Hex. So they have a lot of... I think they actually have quite a few solutions for this Medusa.
I think it'll be like Halberd her, Hex her, while you focus the buildings. Like, let's just focus buildings and then deal with the Medusa with the control, rather than actually using any damage and nukes on her and trying to kill her. You just,
Well, they're not leaving the base. We're about an hour into this game number 3. Game 2 was 13 minutes and change. Game 3 has been a long haul for both teams. A bloody massacre early. But now it slows down. This has been this looks like the longest period this game with no kills.
We could have had 4 game 2s at this rate.
I know. Actually, more than that. Yeah. No matter what, we'll at least have that one more game 4. Maybe we even get the deciding game 5. Rave did walk into the series as very heavy favorites. Maybe even too heavy. I mean, you and I were talking about it before the series began. I think we both favored them, but I don't know about 75-25, or it was something along those lines.
It just feels very different when you put like MVP Phoenix in a best-of-5 series too. These guys seem to come up in some big clutch moments and just take some big series. And historically against Rave, I think Rave has won the more recent finals, like in the Nexon sponsorship league and stuff, but as a whole, MVP has beaten them. They're
going to make their move on March. Blink Clap to start it off. Now the charge to follow up. They have another strike, but actually not committing very much on March. They're worried about the back door already. They're painting out towards the base. They commit a brew split. And March just going to fight his way through it. There's your BOT rat. No, the wolf dies. The creeps kill it off.
That value
the sentry making the difference. That could have been insta-racks. Instead, KP's going to get caught out. They thought they were going to have the rat, but now the Echo Slam coming in from Nuts. On to Jo. They're focusing everything. He is a rapier carrier. He's got to be careful not to die here.
Rat at their door, LD.
Alive for now. They'll glyph to hold the line. Jo trying to walk his way back, but they're not going to make this easy for him. A blink forward from Nuts. Gets off the enchant totem. He's got a Manta out. He's stunned for ages and ages here. It looks like finally they'll manage to kill the Shaker, but man, Jo had to work for that first one. Now on to March. They are holding the line bottom. They will bring down the Axe as well. All 3 heroes that died have buybacks, and they do hold their Axe, but it costs them a glyph. Something that will be on cooldown now for 4.5 minutes, GoDz. It's a big win for Rave. But it all comes down to that sentry. Yeah. Without that sentry, he BOTs in. And either they just back sooner and don't get the kills, or possibly just lose the Rex anyway.
He still went for it, like ulti, charged in, but Lion and Spirit Breaker teamed up to do some heroic tower defense there, and that they only barely held on as well. They had to chain stun everything perfectly, keep the Lycan out of the base, focus down the Necrobooks. They only barely managed to hold it. Mid.
Wild Brewmaster mid appears.
Not just the Halberd, the Yules is causing Medusa problems, the Ghost Scepter. There's just so many good control items for Medusa.
Where's that crit? Chrissy really praying for it now. Looks for the clap, hoping to juke him into blinking forward, but Chrissy not going to fall for that. Turns on Febby. He's out of mana now, and will end up backing off. Cass just lumbering his way, and now Chrissy blinks in, but doesn't auto-attack. That was awkward. And they're fighting this never-ending war against the Wolves. They just keep on trying to worm their way in, sneak in over that way, walk down the bottom lane.
Jo's on...
At this point, I think your best route is like something to the north. Seems Rave have the southern side of the map locked down, but GoDz...
Are they TPing Medusa mid? Do they go for the throne?
They may just be doing it.
Do you get a second rapier? No, Jo doesn't go all in.
No, they're charging though. They got eyeballs on QO. No, actually the creep wave. Okay. I was going to say, if they can just keep that Lycan down, chain bash him. They could try for some sort of a base race scenario.
They could have TP Geo in mid for the high ground siege, but if that gets spotted that his TP's on cooldown, that's when the all-in split push occurs.
These sentries, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is
everywhere. These wolves have to run the gauntlet. They are playing this well. Hex on a creep, Ninja Boogie, please. This could hurt them.
me.
Now the BKB from Chrissy, he fortunately has a brew split, which will be worked on rather quickly. Now they call the Earth Panda. The Wind Panda surviving for now. The Death Ward coming out. They get off the Stone Gaze. It at least keeps him out of the fight already, though. Queen of Pain is bypassing them and going for rat tactics. Looking for the backstab. KP going straight towards the throne. I don't think he does enough damage on his own.
There's nothing to TP
we'll
onto,
need the Lycan.
He needs to like buy a Necro book or something?
Maybe tries to force the Mega Creeps here. Can't even fight his way through backdoor protection. KP, this is not good for him. He is stalling them, though.
I don't think they need to TP Geo back, but they're going to go for the kill. KP in trouble.
Lycan bought back as well. Just want to mention that, along with the axe. So 2 heroes who could die back. It may end up being a third. MVP struggling to break through Rave's defenses. They'll get that last bash, secure the kill. Quap dead for 100. But with the Lycan alive, Rave may not want to push their advantage too much here. Have to constantly be vigilant for the backstabs.
And they've done well so far. Spirit Breaker now has an ag sector.
I am starting to look at these graphs, gods, and by no means do they tell the full story, but they are packing on the pounds here.
These graphs brought to you by 322.
Suddenly a Hex on cast. Chrissy will probably build towards his Abyssal Blade fairly soon. The Lion. No new pickups, but has the gold to start building towards something.
Yeah, the mass sentry is going to continue. Your Lion, Ninja
and
Boogie
most importantly, more sentries.
Yeah, that's his. You can't just rely on Gem because the wolves go past creep waves. You want your creep waves to scout the wolves for you as much as possible. Data now gets a Daedalus. He's dropped the Manta on the Courier for now, so it looks like that's going to go back to base. Pretty important item, but at this point it's like, what do you drop? There's really...
The only other option would maybe be getting like a BKB just to deal with the halberds, but honestly, it's just going to come down to if he actually gets to hit heroes. For now, MVP seem to be struggling more and more to avoid these fights, avoid getting picked off, and I gotta say, gods,
he's gone top.
Spirit Breaker is definitely proving his worth as the exterminator. Time and again, it's like they try to be cute and clever, and he's just charging them, chasing them back. He's a relentless, vicious
Don't worry about this bottom lane Araxa. He's ulting.
He's even nether striking the creeps. I love it. Excellent play by Ryo.
Lycan's not willing to... With his buyback on cooldown, if QO dies, it's disaster. It's a catastrophe. So he's not going to commit to it, but Rave at the same time don't know that, but... I mean, QO, I don't even know that. Maybe QO will do something completely stupid, but it seems like the idea is just to keep forcing those TPs back. Don't give Rave the opportunity to go for a game-ending push by just threatening to rat them at every given moment.
Man, this de-pushing Aghanim's Nether Strike, just using it to bash out the waves and get that little extra momentum top lane. He is going to continue slapping creeps down. You know, the thing with the buybacks from MVP, they had to use them that time, but they can't play aggressive anymore. They know if they die back on these heroes, that Rave can just walk down mid and quite possibly win the game. I
feel like QO's over... Like, there's been at least 2 of these 3 buybacks in the late game which have not been needed. His items have just disappeared. He's 20k net worth behind Medusa. Yeah, Medusa's overfarmed, doesn't have item slots, but QO has... What, 2 big items? 3? You've got BKB, AC, Necro 3. You're still seeing on Vlad's cheese at this point. He's only got 4 of his slots filled if you include the Boots of Travel.
Yeah, it's a very underwhelming level of farm on the Lycan, and oh, he's getting charged now. QO, can they track him down? I don't think they have backup in range. Ryo maybe going to bait other heroes. Oh, nice Yules, but it allows Rave to set up onto Febi if they want. Now, the rat. They've bypassed them. They found the opening. MVP moving into the bottom lane. There is a dire glyph. They use it very early. Everybody retreating out. They hex Jo. The Lycan coming in. He's going to commit for this one. Looks like he'll get the racks. Can he get out safely? The cows arrive, though. It's a dieback for QO. QO's dead for 130. And K Phoenix may die back, too. He blinks to the north. Oh, actually, sorry. He didn't use his buyback earlier. So he has it, but I don't know if it matters here, gods. They could just barrel down mid. No Lycan to backstab. Just leave 1 or 2 heroes on base defense. Maybe even suicide a hero to the well if you need to, just to return to your base. Rave have some options
I think
now.
they pick up like another rapier even on your Medusa, like have it come out on the courier or something. Like you go for the throne and just drop your boots of travel and just have the courier nearby.
But already, look what's up bottom lane.
Yeah.
KP, he used his buyback. This may actually be a dieback for him. If he doesn't hex in time, he can't because of the BKB from the cow who gets close to him. Is he going to get that initial bash? No, he stops. He tries to go for the nether strike, gets
dear.
hexed.
Mistakes.
Oh, he backs off. He may end up falling out, but Lion arrives to save the day. Where's the bash? No bash forthcoming. Follows him through the tree line with another strike. In the meanwhile, mid, all kinds of action breaking out. KP wins the fight. Maybe goes on to Ninja Boogie. Here comes the backstab on the backstab. They come in under cast. They'll bring him down with a Mystic Flare. Where's the stinking Dusa? She's not really able to do a whole lot. TP's back in to go on to March. But the push is coming bottom slowly by KP. They're buying time for their Lycan. I don't think KP does it fast enough here, Gods. At the same time,
soon, I think.
Either Rave go now or Lycan will be in the base.
Yeah.
Oh man, this could be dieback number 2. Finger online, they get the kill. That's 120 with no quap. And now is your time if you're Rave. You barrel down mid, you've got a buyback on Jo. He can even just buy a refresher if he needs a second boots of travel usage.
I really feel like he should have a second rapier, but it may not matter. They're going to probably go for the T3 tower then for the throne. Jo getting disarmed.
There's no split push. It's 30 seconds. There's your Echo Slam by Nuts. Not good enough. He does slow down the push, but they can't deal with Jo, who will work onto Nuts now. That auto attack finishing the job. Does he go Rex? Does he go throne? A bit of hesitation. Says, I'm going for effigies. Just kidding. I'm actually going on the throne now. He's going to start working on tier 4s. Chrissy at his side. It looks like Rave have this one. Lycan only to respawn in 5 seconds. There's no way he can get into that dire base. They have heroes on base defense. They have the Dusa ready to BOT back at a moment's notice. It's gonna be Rave who walk away with this game. There's Chrissy just popping the cheese, laying into the throne. Lycan trying for it, but the Spirit Breaker's here. Bashes him to bits. He can't even hit a building, and it will be your dire squad, Rave. 2 more auto attacks. Hit the throne, damn it. The halberd. They're trying. It's way too close. They actually exposed the dire throne, but in the end, it's all Rave all the way. MVP, what a heartbreaking way to lose this game 3.
They snatched that one away from MVP Phoenix. What on earth did we just watch? This is what Grand Finals bring. These kind of Dota games, these teams know each other well, and boy...
They're close now, Gods. Rave, with this win, especially the way they won it, have to feel very confident going into game 4.
Yeah,
I think if you're MVP, it's hard not to go on tilt.
Oh yeah, there's so many moments where you can say if we'd done this little bit a bit different with our split push or something. There's probably like 10 different timestamps where they could say if we'd done this there, we would have won the game. And for Rave, it was just they always just managed to cope just well enough with a split push, and well, they win against all odds.
That game had it all. You remember, like the first fight that game was the Witch Doctor on the high ground drops his ward in the Roche pit, kills the Lycan because the Lycan had used Medallion on Roche, so he dies quicker. The Lion Impale from low ground to from high ground to low ground into the tree line. A blind Impale that kills off KP after he blinks away. I feel like there were like 10 highlight-worthy moments in that game alone. And it's only game 3. We've got at least one more here, guys. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, game 4 with MVP Phoenix trailing